Hello, thank you for coming together today to give me an opportunity to discuss what I believe is an important topic that affects your company Woolworths and consumers in Australia. I'd like today to explore the use of palm oil in consumer products and the negative effects connected with its production and its consumption. I'm primarily attempting to convince your company that the use of palm oil in vast array of products is an important issue, and that by agreeing to source products for your inventory that only contain certified sustainable palm oil, you'll be making an enormous difference in a number of areas and leading the way in Australia towards ethical and sustainable trading practices. I'll begin today by briefly explaining what palm oil is and how it's used across a variety of applications. From there, I'll detail some of the areas of concern related to palm oil cultivation and production, including biodiversity issues, deforestation, and equally importantly, the damaging effects that it has on native animals in production areas. What is palm oil? Palm oil that's used in a multitude of products is sourced from the fruit that grows from an oil palm tree. Palm fruit contains palm fruit oil and palm kernel oil, as you can see in the slide above, each extracted differently and used for different purposes. What is it used for? Palm oil comes from the pulp of the oil palm tree fruit, and its predominant use is as a food additive. Palm oil is found extensively in a range of food products sold by your company, including biscuits, bread, chocolates, dried fruits, ice creams, butters, and margarines, and a range of other goods. Palm kernel oil is a secondary use, and palm kernel oil is extracted from the seed of the fruit and is used as an ingredient in soaps, as in the palm olive soap pictured in the slide, along with household cleaning goods, makeup and cosmetic products, including lipsticks, and also hygiene goods. Biofuel. There's also a growing use of palm oil as biofuel, in particular production of biodiesel, and with many countries attempting to limit and curb their use of fossil fuels, its production has rapidly increased. Why is its production harmful? Unregulated and unsustainable production of palm oil creates a range of problems that affect not only people, but also animals and also the environment. The first issue I'd like to discuss is deforestation in relation to palm oil. According to FAO and WRI, cited in Rist, Finetree and Levang 2010, the demand for palm oil has led to massive increases in the amount of permanent cropland that's now allocated towards production, with the total now reaching approximately around about 1/10 of the world's total. In countries with high production, including Malaysia and Indonesia, this has led to large-scale deforestation, with significant amounts of land cleared to plant palm oil crops. This has had a range of negative effects on climate change through increased carbon emissions, and also affects the indigenous inhabitants of the lands. Biodiversity. Palm oil plantations also negatively affect biodiversity in areas that have been heavily deforested, where natural ecological systems are disrupted as native plants and a range of local animal species are dispersed or endangered, sometimes eradicated. Researchers Velasco et al. 2014 assert that the majority of forest species are not suited to palm oil plantations. Evidence shows low species richness in comparison to natural ecological environments that formerly existed in these areas. Palm oil also affects native animals in countries with high levels of deforestation. They're significantly impacted by the production and cultivation of palm oil. In Indonesia, for instance, critically endangered species such as Sumatran elephants and tigers are at high risk due to a massive loss of habitat. Animals including the orangutan are at a further secondary risk as crop owners view them to be pests and are quite often killed when deemed to be a threat to a crop. I'd like to briefly discuss sustainability. As the world's population continues to grow, the demand for palm oil also continues to grow. In Southeast Asia, its importance has increased due to its range of applications. However, researchers Mukherjee and Sobercool 2014 have also observed that in conjunction with this growth, there's been an equal increase in the associated range of environmental and socio-economic consequences. In light of this, however, its usefulness in multiple food-related applications, the possible equal environmental impact that large-scale cultivation of a different vegetable would equally have, the effects that complete eradication of its production have on workers in developing countries, depending on the industry, would have, and some of the reasons that palm oil production won't and shouldn't be completely stopped. For this reason, organisations such as the Roundtable on Sustainable Palm Oil have sought to introduce certifications that identify palm oil produced in a sustainable manner. And by adhering to agreed standards in production and distribution, companies can gain certification that's globally recognised and contributes positively to reduce some of the issues that I've highlighted earlier in this presentation. The RSPO certification scheme has achieved a certification level status of around 80% currently of the world palm oil production, and currently viewed as the best solution to the problems posed by the world's demand for palm oil and its byproducts. I strongly believe that as a business with enormous reach, Woolworths should lead the way in Australia by only sourcing and selling goods that contain certified sustainable palm oil. I believe that as a company, Woolworths has the ability to avoid increased costs related to this proposed measure, as the onus will fall back on manufacturers to devise ways to implement sustainable palm oil sourcing. A strong accompanying advertising program could inform customers of the palm oil issue, which would promote your brand image as well. I believe that if customers were aware of the issues I've detailed surrounding palm oil use and cultivation, they'll make a conscious decision to favour your retail shopping outlet, preference over competitors who are not involved in any sustainable practices. In conclusion today, I'd like to just recap by saying I've attempted to explain what palm oil is and how it's used, also detailed some of the issues that surround its production, as well as briefly talking about how sustainability might be achieved by briefly discussing the RSPO scheme and the positive impact that it's already had. I'll finish today by speaking about how I think Woolworths can contribute to the effort to make a difference in the palm oil trade. I hope that you are inspired to investigate this issue further and also to decide that it's a policy that's beneficial not only to your company, it also helps to reduce the associated deforestation, biodiversity and animal welfare problems that face us all as members of a global marketplace and as members of a global society. Thank you again for your time.